When you talk to people at the district and you really get the feel of what makes us tick, why do we do what we do, it's because we see our role as enriching communities. We improve the quality of life for the people that live in them.
In order to attract growth, businesses, create jobs, one of the major factors is a reliable water supply. That's been the major role of the water district since the 1930s.
When the demand decreases, we can take a line out of service and we can control those repairs. And since we've started this practice, we've seen a dramatic decline in catastrophic failures.
And so this is our story. Not all of it. There's too much to tell in one video. But how about an introduction to us? Take a spin around Tarrant County. What do you see? World-class museums, quality educational opportunities, sports complexes second to none. How about them Rangers? A place that celebrates its heritage, filled with some of the most livable cities in the country. Arlington, Fort Worth, Mansfield, all part of one best of list or another. What ties all these scenes together? Water. Take a sip, and let's see how the Tarrant Regional Water District makes it all possible.
You look behind me, right, and you have the city there. That city is not possible. No economic development is possible at all without the water supply that we bring.
The Water District is led by a publicly elected 5-member board. Our primary mission? Water supply and flood protection. We were created in 1924. 2 major water supply projects soon followed, Lake Bridgeport and Eagle Mountain. Constructed in the 1930s, they are located on the West Fork of the Trinity River, and they met our needs up until the 1950s.
In the 1950s, then came a big drought, and the biggest enemy of a water supplier is drought. And so Mother Nature basically delivered a message that you can't put all your eggs in one watershed basket.
The message was loud and clear. We needed more water. And in 1957, the district received permits to construct 2 more reservoirs in East Texas.
2 new reservoirs, 2 different watersheds to establish reliability for the future.
Cedar Creek Reservoir was born in the 1960s. Richland-Chambers Reservoir, constructed in the 1980s. Building reservoirs in East Texas, where it usually rains more, proved to be smart choices. Our reservoir system today allows us to meet the demands of nearly 2 million people residing in a service area that spans more than 5,800 square miles across 11 counties. So far, so good, but we're not done. Droughts and a growing population mean we have to plan to stay ahead of the curve.
That is our #1 job, in my opinion, to stay out in front of the growth and make sure we have an adequate water supply. We've done it in the past, and we will continue to do it in the future.
And we're doing that in a number of ways. Water conservation and reuse are 2 strategies helping to ensure the sustainability of our supplies.
We are standing at the George Shannon Wetland project, which is a water supply project.
Located adjacent to Richland-Chambers Reservoir, it's one of the nation's first water recycling projects of its kind. It relies mainly on downstream flows that pour into the Trinity from wastewater treatment plants in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Here's how it came to life.
So back in the early 90s, we knew we needed additional water supplies. And so we began to look at the Trinity River itself for a source. But we also knew that the water quality in the Trinity River was such that if we pumped it straight into the reservoir, it would be detrimental to that water quality. We're talking about sediment loads that are real high. We're talking about nutrient loads, nitrogen and phosphorus that's high. We knew we had to clean it somehow, and we came up with the concept of using the natural ability of wetlands to do that process for us.
The Wetlands Water Reuse Project is a remarkable success story. It's like having a new reservoir without building a new reservoir, and we're all benefiting.
Here we stand 22 years later, and it's here. And it's making a difference in where we get our water from. 20% of the water supply from the district last year came from this project. That's hard for me to believe, but it did.
Leading the effort to save water is another way we're making a difference.
Shocking, mysterious, amazing. It came from the lawn. Lawns all over town were struggling, not from too little water, but from too much water, until one man stepped in, the lawn whisperer.
Amazing is right. The Water District has taken a lead role in educating water users about smart ways to save water. People like you are listening, and those savings are adding up. 31 billion gallons in 2014, an average decrease of almost 100 million gallons per day. And here's the kicker, that's enough water to supply an extra 500,000 new residents on our existing supplies. Thank you. Let's keep it up.
If we can all pull together and continue to save water, as we've done. I mean, I really have to say hats off to our communities. They have been very cooperative in helping us come up with this water supply, and we need to continue to do it because there is no cheaper way to supply water to our customers than through conservation.
But our population will grow, and that means expanding our capacity to meet that growth. We're doing just that, teaming with Dallas Water Utilities to build the integrated pipeline. The massive undertaking will allow both agencies to transport water from as far away as Lake Palestine, an additional 350 million gallons per day. And by sharing the workload, both agencies will realize tremendous savings.
The savings on the capital cost between the two of us, we're going to save about $500 million because this is a very expensive line. And since it is a larger line size, and neither of us use that very often as far as to peak, energy savings are going to be in the order of almost $1 billion over the next 50 years. So it's a real win-win for both of us.
You can expect some sections of the integrated pipeline to be operational by 2020. Since most of the water we drink comes from East Texas reservoirs, maintaining the pipelines we already have in the ground is crucial to our operations.
Reliability is absolutely essential for the Tarrant Regional Water District.
I'm going to say in the 80s, early 90s, we were having catastrophic failures. We didn't have a cathodic protection system at the time, and the failures kept increasing over the years.
So the district took action and was an early adopter of new technology to determine the condition of its pipelines. They're made of pre-stressed concrete that's wrapped in high tensile strength wire, which can break over time.
We have gone through using a remote field eddy current system to find the broken wires. We'll inspect 5 to 10 miles a year, and then the following year go back and replace those segments. And we weeded out almost all the really high priority segments. And total cost for this remediation program is going to run about 4% of replacement cost. So it's really cost effective to do rather than just abandon the line.
From shoring up pipelines to shoring up water supplies. In 2008, the district took a bold step to add some drought insurance to West Fork reservoirs. We constructed the Eagle Mountain Pipeline, allowing us to move water from East Texas reservoirs into Eagle Mountain Lake. The move has paid off in a big way.
Since that's been in place, it's really proven its worth through this drought. We've put well over 200,000 acre feet in Eagle Mountain since 2010, whenever the drought really started, which is in excess of 1.14 times the volume of Eagle Mountain at conservation. So we've more than filled the reservoir.
As the owner and operator of 4 major reservoirs, we are heavily involved in protecting the quality of our drinking water supplies.
The watershed program is Tarrant Regional Water District's effort to ensure the adequate water supplies for the future, for the region, and also to protect the water quality of those lakes and reservoirs. The primary concern is phosphorus, which occurs in products like fertilizers, and those products can wash off during rainfall and get into the lakes and reservoirs. The other concern is sediment or soil. Any activity that helps keep fertilizers and soil on the landscape is a good thing. Education and outreach is a major component of the program. I think that it takes everybody to make a difference. And the more that we can spread the word and support each other in doing the right thing and good land stewardship, we'll create healthy watersheds that will create healthy waters.
Healthy waters mean healthy communities. Freedom from the fear of flooding is a part of that. Historic photos of Fort Worth show the devastation that can occur when the steady flowing waters of the Trinity River turn into a raging torrent. The levees you see today were designed by the Corps of Engineers and completed in 1956. And the Water District is responsible for making sure the 27-mile levee system running through town stays in good shape.
And I'm standing right next to and on top of levees. These levees have improved the quality of life by minimizing the damage from major floods. You know, we've had floods back in the 30s that same flood occurred in the 90s with no damage. Instead of flooding, you know, this entire area, flooding Katz Field, flooding large portions of Fort Worth, that flooding was all there within the floodway.
And now that floodway is turning into a jewel of our community. Because of an extensive trail system the Water District and its partners have created.
So instead of it just being a flood control structure with earthen embankments and grass slopes, it's an asset that people can use. The popularity of the trail system far surpasses anything that we thought would occur in the future. And as Tarrant County expands, everybody wants to be a part of the trail system. They all want to be connected to it.
If you love hiking but want to dodge the crowds, we have a place for you too. Eagle Mountain Park, once highly coveted by developers, is now a spot for all to enjoy.
Really, this area was the last undeveloped spot around the lake, and we wanted to make sure that we saved that for future generations so they could come out and experience the wildlife and the natural plants and native plants that are out there.
Located in northwest Tarrant County, the park is 400 acres of pure Texas, the way it used to look. It offers beautiful panoramic views of the lake, an extensive trail system, and plenty of space to get away from it all. On the south end of the lake, you'll find Twin Points Park. Destined to be a signature park, this will surely be a hotspot for boaters and bathers. The boat ramp is one of the best on the lake and has already seen plenty of action. A second phase to the park will include a pavilion, concessions, more restrooms, and a swim beach. And if you're looking for an escape closer to home, the wait is almost over.
Airfield Falls is the only natural waterfall in Tarrant County, and it was really a hidden jewel for many years.
Not for long. The district has partnered with Westward Village to build a park and conservation garden just outside the Naval Air Station. With the opening scheduled later this year, we invite you for a quick escape from the stresses of urban life, to enjoy what will be a stellar place to relax, learn about native and sustainable landscaping, and of course, see the falls. And so this is some of our story, introducing us. As you can see, we have a lot going on, and water is the ingredient that ties all of this together.
Well, I think our role is actually increased in the community. As the community grows, water is the lifeblood of the community. And if we don't have an adequate water supply, we're not going to grow.
Everything we do is built around making people's lives better, making their communities desirable places to live, desirable places to do business.
That should be part of the role of every government, is to make the place that you live a better place to be, and someplace that will attract people, make them want to stay,